if we can agree that in a lot of situations death is what's kind of seen as the worst case scenario, if we can change how we think of death, what cascading effect will that have on the rest of life? Right? So the way I'd put it is I'd say let's raise the floor. If death is kind of like the floor of life, like this is the worst. Well, if the worst is not actually as bad as it appears, I'm not saying life is going to be great. Life is very difficult, and maybe more difficult now than it's been in quite some time. But I don't think it's as bad as we think it is. And having that hope and having that understanding that there is something brighter around it, I think, gives you kind of medicine for life that nothing else really can. And so in particular, I wanted to go through the near-death experience. And before we even get into it, the term near-death experience was coined by Raymond Moody, Dr. Raymond Moody. And I was sitting on this stage with him not that long ago. When I say not that long ago, it was probably 6 years or 5 years or something like that. But he came here and did an event where he was talking about some of his research and work. And I owe him a great debt of gratitude, because he was the one who didn't create near-death experiences, but he gave people a forum in which they could talk about what happened to them at the hospital or when they were going through some of the darkest things in life. And I want to hold on that for a second, that the near-death experience is not just, I was sitting there and suddenly everything was great. It's this juxtaposition of this really difficult, painful situation that people are in, where they're in a car crash or they're drowning or the worst is happening. And it happens. And there's often after them, there's all kinds of real painful recovery. There's still this stuff that's happening, but yet right on the other side of it, there's this amazing beauty and peace and safety. And I was thinking of it as I, walking around at 3 a.m, like, what's happening to me? Thinking of why isn't God, if God's out